Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a 5 looks 1 palette with this new beautiful Nars palette here. This is the Extreme Effects palette by Nars, and I talked to you guys about this palette in my last video, which was trying all new products from Ulta Beauty. If you have not checked out that video, pause this one and go check it out. I'm going to leave you a link right up here and then come back to this one, okay? So go ahead. A lot of you wanted me to elaborate on this palette here. You wanted to see some looks with it. You were excited about it. So here's the 5 looks video. And I'm also going to be comparing it to a couple other of my Nars palettes. Now I have a disclaimer before I even get started with any of that. One of my soft boxes, the one on this side, died on me. So that is why this video is so shadowy. Like you can see all the shadows back there. You can tell the difference so much. I usually have 2 soft boxes, one on each side, and I'm only getting lit by the ring light. So it is irreparable, like it exploded. I'm going to have to order something else. So hopefully I can order something that will arrive soon for my next video. But for this video, you're going to have to bear with this lighting situation, so I apologize. However, if you're excited for the video, the looks, the comparisons, don't forget to please give the video a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. And with that said, let's go ahead and get started. I got a haircut today. You guys will not be able to tell because I feel like my hair always looked like this for you. But my hair used to not end right here. It used to end like right down here. So I had a lot of my length cut off. My head feels so much lighter. I'm loving it, or at least that's what I'm telling myself. Okay, so let's get started with the palette. It has very sexual names like most of Nars products, and I'm going to show you some swatches to begin with. So I have the swatches. They don't look like they should because my lighting sucks right now. So one more time, I'm sorry, but here they are. We have the colors Endowed, we have Roleplay, we have Take Control, Private Eye, Pulsing, Full Potential, Blow, Tantric, All the Way, Code Red, Stare Down, and Uncensored Black. The colors pretty much swatch exactly the way you see them on the palette. They are pretty pigmented, very blendable, and overall just really true to color, except for the black one, because the black one almost looked like a black metallic shade, and it doesn't really swatch like a metallic shade. It swatches more so like a matte. It's more of a creamy matte eyeshadow, which I truly like, but it doesn't look metallic on the eyelid. I only used it to deepen up one of the looks on the outer corner, and it looked pretty much matte. But besides that, all of the colors swatch exactly the way they look on the pan, and they're very beautiful and blendable and pigmented. The palette is exclusive to Ulta, at least for the time being, and it retails for $59. It came out with the Climax Extreme mascara, which I've been using and loving. I don't think it's my new favorite mascara by any means. I'm still pretty obsessed with the Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara, but it is very easy to be on the go because it literally coats your lashes so fast that you can do it without having to go back and layer the mascara. So I like it when I'm out the door, I need to go to work, you know, I'm in a hurry. I put this one on. For comparison, I have 2 other Nars palettes here. I have the Narcissist palette. This one is from around 2 years ago. And I have the Afterglow palette, which it's newer than this one, but I don't remember when it came out. Maybe it was at the beginning of this year, or maybe this was their end of last year's palette. I really like both of these, and there is something that these have that this new one doesn't, and let me tell you what that is. They have the same amount of shades. The new Extreme Effects palette has bigger pans. These are much smaller. You can definitely see the difference right here, but these palettes have these super nice shimmery shades that have micro glitters mixed in, and to be honest, they're one of my favorite things about these Nars palettes. Let me see if the camera picks it up. You can't really see it on camera, but you can see how these shades are like a little bit more on the sheer side, but they're very shiny. In real life it looks like just shimmer, but also like sparkly little bits and pieces in there. So I really like them because I really like very shimmery stuff. They definitely catch my eye. This new palette does not have any of that type of formula. These are regular shimmers, very pretty and blendable and pigmented, but they don't have that special sparkly stuff that I like. As far as color similarities, I feel like they all have their own kind of color story. I don't think any of the shades are too similar, to be honest with you. I feel like if you have the Narcissus palette, you could definitely get this one, and you won't have a lot of shades that overlap. This one is more on the like nude neutral side. And the same thing with the Afterglow palette. This one is a lot warmer, so I feel like you definitely get palettes that are different enough if you go ahead and get this one. I was just looking at it again to make sure that there were no shades I wanted to compare, and I am going to compare a couple. If you have the Narcissus palette, you have two shades that are very similar to this one. So this reddish shade here and this matte light shade here are very similar to these two shades right here in the center at the top. So I have them right here swatched on my fingertips. Here are the reddish shades in the middle, and then these two here are the more matte shades. And I think that they are quite similar. However, I feel like those are some of my favorite shades in both palettes, and I'm always appreciative of a color that is just a little bit darker than the color of my skin because it makes for a really good transition shade. With the Afterglow, I don't have that much to compare because these are mostly a lot warmer than the ones that come in this new NARS palette. With the swatches and some comparisons out of the way, let's go ahead and get to the 5 looks part of this video because I feel like this is going to be so long. So let's get started with that. Let's get started with the first look. I'm going to use the color Role Play on the crease of my eye. I'm using a fluffy brush from Morphe. This is the M441. And I'm just back and forth going to blend that color on the crease of my eye, taking it all the way up to right underneath my brow. This is a Morphe 518 brush, and I am just back and forth blending that color on the crease, a little bit right here on the outer corner, extending it upwards and outwards and making it look seamless all the way underneath my brow. With a more pinched blending brush, this one is the M433 from Morphe, I'm going to get the color Full Potential, and I am dabbing it right on the outer corner of my eye and upwards and outwards, just blending it into the crease by just tapping the color up. And now I'm going to do little circles around the edge so that it blends into the crease color, and I'm going to start bringing it in, blending it from the outside in, and I'm going to do little circles all around so that the color diffuses nicely. This is going to deepen up the eye look and build some nice intensity. And once the shades look blended into one another, you are at a good place. So we'll move on to the next step. With the tip of my finger in the color Private Eye, I'm going to just tap that color right in the center of my eye. So from the center and out, I'm not going to do anything on this inner part right here. Center and blend it into the outer corner a little bit. And back with my blending brush, I'm just going to go around it so that it diffuses nicely into the crease color. Next, with the JH51 and the color Endowed, I'm going to do the inner part of the eye. So I'm patting it from the inner corner into the eyelid and a little bit over that color we put in the center so that they blend into one another. And I'm putting it on the eyelid and a little past the eyelid because I want that color to show really nice and bright. A little bit more Private Eye just to once again blend the colors into each other, and I'm just patting it right here center towards the outer corner of the eye. And back with my pinched blending brush and a little bit of Full Potential, I'm just going to make sure things are blending into each other nicely. My camera ran out of memory. I was saying with the color Uncensored Black, we were going to darken up the outer corner of the eye. And I have this little smudger brush, and I'm just back and forth running that color into the purpley shades we had on there, just to darken things up. This color looks like a shimmery black, and I'm sure if you press it on, it could have some glow. We will probably try that in a different look. But when you just smudge it back and forth with a brush, it kind of looks matte. It's just going to darken up things like any other black would. A bit more of full potential on this pinched blending brush, and we're going to blend it all in. Moving on to the under eye with the color Uncensored Black, I'm going to smudge the back half of my under eye, just back and forth with that smudger brush. Connect it right here at the end with the top of the eye, of course. Then with a little blending brush, I'm grabbing the color Full Potential, and I'm going to take it all the way underneath my eye to smoke out that black shade, and all the way to my tear duct area here, and just blend it all nicely. And lastly, with that same brush and a little bit of role play, we're going to make sure everything looks as smoky as the top of the eye. So just blend it all together. I need a bit more endowed on this inner corner here. And before any eyeliner, this is the first look. I am going to get a brown eyeliner. This one is from Pure, and I'm going to just put it in the waterline of my eye here to darken things up. Next, I'm going to do a very light layer of the Nars Extreme Mascara. And after a little bit of mascara, this is the final look. I can't believe how fast that mascara builds up. I don't need to do 2 coats or 2 layers of it. Like, it just immediately gets your lashes so long and so full. Alright, let's move on to the next look. Let's get started with the second look. I have the color all the way on my Refer number 2 brush, and I'm going to tap that color all over my eyelid. I want that super nice fiery orange to be the center of attention for the second eye look. I'm going back a second time and just patting that shade in place all over my eyelid. I have on the Alter Ego eyeshadow base underneath, and this color is going on so nicely. Look at how pigmented that looks. All the way here on the outer corner too. With my Refer number 1 brush and the color Take Control, I'm going to start back and forth, adding that darker shade to the crease of my eye. And I'm just running the color through the edge of the first color we placed. And I'm also going to pack it right here on the outer corner. And I'm just going back and forth all around the eyelid on that crease area. My camera ran out of space, so I hope that you didn't miss anything, but I was just diffusing the color Take Control back and forth with my Refer number 1 around the eyelid area. So as you can see, we have a very scary, super dark harsh line right there, and our next step is of course to soften that. So I have my Refer number 12 brush right here and the color Role Play, and I'm going to diffuse that edge with that color. And I like this brush for that because it's nice and like a little bit stiffer, so I think that it'll help diffuse any harsh lines very easily. So back and forth, going over any edges. And you guys can see how that line is getting diffused. Again, I'm just going back and forth over that harsher line that we had. And back to the Refer number 1. And you can of course make this a lot less dramatic by just not going as high as I went. But I do like to do my eye looks just kind of like up and out like that. I think it makes my eyes look a lot bigger. So I think we're done with the top part here because I can't think of anything else to do. So let me go ahead and put some makeup on around my face, and I'll be right back to finish this one up. I'm back, and I went ahead and put some makeup around my eye, and I'm going to use the color Role Play one more time on this number 12 brush right here. And we're going to just smoke out the lower lash line before we even start darkening things up. And I'm going all the way back here, right underneath the end of my eye. If you guys hear anything weird, my dog is very loudly chewing on a bone behind me right now, so I apologize. I'm going to use the color Take Control one more time, and this is a Refer number 3 brush, and I'm just going to back and forth smudge it right here underneath my eye to darken things up real nicely. And one more time with the number 12 brush, nothing extra added, just whatever remaining colors it had, blending everything out down here. Lastly, with this very small shader brush and the color Endowed, we're going to lighten up the inner corners of my eye. So I'm tapping that color right here in place, and I'm going to just bring it in a little bit. I really like to do this when I just bring it in ever so slightly to brighten up the whole inner part of the eye. To finish it up, I'm going to use the matte side of my Mesmerizing Maroon eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm going to just put it in my waterline. By the way, these Charlotte Tilbury eyeliners were a limited edition, but I think that they are coming back. So if I find the link to them, I will leave it down below. I could have used the copper charge too, but I feel like this just adds a bit more of a pop to the eye look. This is look number 2 so far. I'm about to add some mascara and show you what that looks like. Here is look number 2 with just mascara on. I think my favorite thing about this look is that warm tone shimmery shade on the eyelid. It's really pretty. I went ahead and grabbed my Glamnetic lashes in the style Bella, which is my favorite style that they came out with, and this is look number 2. As I was saying before, I really love this like warm shade for my eyelid, and it just blended so nicely into the more maroon type color on the crease. This look is just so pretty, and these lashes are making it like step to the next level. So this is look number 2. For look number 3, we're going to start with the color Code Red right here, and I'm just going to start by tapping it on my eyelid, sort of like we did with the orangey shade on look number 2. And just like with the other shade, the pigmentation in these colors just goes on so nicely. So just patting it with my Refer number 2 brush, and with that same brush I'm going to tap the color Pulse over the center. I want the color Pulse to give this a bit more dimension and just brighten up the center of the eyelid and make it a bit more golden. My instincts tell me to use a warm tone on the crease, but I'm just going to go against that, and I'm going to use the color Full Potential on my number 2 brush from Refer, and that's what I'm going to tap around it, because why not? Let's just try something different. So I'm tapping it on the outer corner, and just above the crease of the eye where I put the shimmer shades, I'm just patting that color in place. I'm going to do the same thing on the inner part right here, and I'm just back and forth placing that color there all the way through the crease of my eye. Same number 1 brush, and I'm just using that same color all around the crease. And now with the Refer number 12 brush and the color Role Play, we're going to diffuse those edges into the brow bone. So I'm just swiping my number 12 brush back and forth and blending everything out. Back with the number 1 brush, nothing added. I'm just going to make sure things blend nicely into each other here by just back and forth swiping that brush. And now I'm going to use a clean brush. This is the Refer number 15, and I'm just going to take it through the edge right underneath my brow because I wanted to diffuse those lighter colors, and I'm just swiping back and forth with very light pressure to diffuse any edges. With the little shader brush and the color Endowed, I'm going to highlight right underneath my brow, and back with my blending brush and a little bit of Role Play, just blend everything. I'm tapping a little bit of pulsing over the center of the eyelid to bring it back. And this right here is the top of look number 3. I'm going to put on some makeup around my eye, and I'll be right back to finish it up. I'm back, and I'm going to start my under eye with the color Full Potential and my number 3 brush, and I'm just swiping that brush back and forth right underneath my lashes to make this eye nice and smoky. Then with the Refer number 15 and the color Role Play, we're going to just diffuse that under eye. So I'm back and forth just blending everything out. With the metallic side of the Mesmerizing Maroons eyeliner, I'm going to line my waterline. And this is look number 3 without mascara on. Let me put some mascara on and show you what that looks like. I'm back with mascara on, and I am going to do my inner corner, which I forgot earlier. So I have that same inner corner color that I've been using, which I think is the only inner corner color in this palette, and I'm just putting it in the inner corner and swiping it in a little bit, and it's the color Endowed. And I'm taking it very high up here, mainly to cover up the fact that I put mascara there and then wiped it off, so you don't have to be as dramatic with the inner corner shimmer as I was. Once again, I'm using my Bella lashes from Glamnetic, and I did a little bit of a wing with the felt tip eyeliner, also from Glamnetic. So this is look number 3. I feel like this is kind of like a halo-y smoky eye, because we definitely have a little bit of pop right in the center, but it also is not as halo as some of the eye looks I do sometimes. So we'll call it halo-y smoky eye. I hope that you guys like it, and let's move on to look number 4. To get started with the 4th look, I'm using my number 15 brush by Refer and the color Roleplay, and I'm just back and forth swiping that color on the crease of my eye. And I think for this one, I just want to do something nice and soft. So I'm bringing the color down to my eyelid. I'm just doing an even layer of it just all over. Next, with the color Blow, I am shading the eyelid area. And I'm using that same brush and just blending it into the first color we put on. Back and forth, doing windshield wiper motions with my brush. And then I'm going into the color Take Control, and I'm just going to add that one on my eyelid as well with that same brush, and we have a nice gradient look, all matte from brow to eyelid. And I don't care how simple this is absolute perfection for fall. These colors are everything, and they blend so easily into one another. I know that was super simple, but that is all I want to do for the top of my eye. I just want a nice gradient look. I'm just going to blend out any upper edges I have here underneath my brow. I dusted my brush off a little bit. I'm going to put some concealer around my eye, and I'll be right back to finish this one up. I'm back, and besides putting some concealer around my eye, I also went ahead and used the Mesmerizing Maroon eyeliner right in my waterline. And I'm going to start the under eye with the color Take Control, and I'm just going to smudge it right underneath my lower lash line. Back and forth with my Refer number 3 brush. And then with a mixture of Blow and Roleplay and my number 1 brush, I'm just going to blow that down. Just blend back and forth, very light pressure with my Refer number 1 brush. And you can leave this one sort of like this and do an all matte look, but I do want to put the color and out right here on the inner corner of the eye. And anybody can do a shimmer on the inner corner, no matter your age. It'll look really cute. So I'm just patting that color in place there, bringing it in a little bit. Perfect. So this is look number 4 without mascara. Let me go ahead and do some mascara next, and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like. I'm back with the Climax mascara on one more time, and this is look number 4. And I'm not going to add lashes to it because I am perfectly content with just mascara on and just this nice, mostly matte look all over my eye. This is one of the easiest looks to do, and I really love it. I think it might be my favorite one from this video so far. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Finally, let's get started with the 5th look. And the first thing I'm going to do is use the color Roleplay as my transition shade. So with my Refer number 15, I'm just back and forth swiping that color on the upper crease of my eye, right under my brow bone, and just building a nice even layer of it. Next, with that same brush and the color Blow, we are going to deepen up the crease of the eye a little bit. So I'm going back and forth with this brush. I'm building that color there. And I'm also going to bring it into the outer corner of my eye here by patting it in place. And I'm bringing it in all the way right here on the inner part of the eye as well. I'm switching to my Refer number 1 and the color Take Control, and I'm going to pat that color on the outer corner of the eye. So I'm patting it right here and blending it into the crease a little bit. And I'm going to do the same thing in the inner part. We're going to make a halo eye. Back with my big fluffy brush, I'm just going to blend everything together. I have the color Tantric right here on the tip of my finger, and I'm going to just pat that color in the center of my eye. This is like a muted champagne shimmer shade. Very pretty. I'm doing a little bit more Take Control here just to make sure that it blends into that shimmer shade real nicely. And then with the color in Doubt, I'm going to just top it off because I want it to be a little more shiny than it came out. Just like this. And now we have a really pretty blown out fall time halo eye. Okay, I'm going to do my face makeup, and I'll be right back to finish this one up. I was watching YouTube videos while finishing up my makeup, and I totally forgot I was supposed to record this under eye, so let me tell you what I just did. With my Refer number 3 brush and the color Take Control, I just went ahead and blended my under eye like this, just going back and forth and adding that product on. And then with a mixture of Roll and Foreplay and my number 14 brush by Refer, I went ahead and blended all of that out, just back and forth with this brush, all the way here at the end, so that this line got a little softer because it was a little harsh after I put concealer right under it. I'm going to use my Mesmerizing Maroon eyeliner from Charlotte Tilbury right here on the waterline of my eye, because I think this is going to really make this eye pop really nicely. I smudged a little bit of it in between my lashes, and I'm just going back with my number 3 brush and smudging it out even more. And last but not least, we are doing Endowed right here on my inner corner. So this is the eye before mascara. Let me put some mascara on and I'll show you what that looks like. I'm back with mascara on. As I was starting to put mascara on, my soft light died on me. It popped, it burned, it stopped working. So the light definitely looks very different right now from before, because the only light I have on is my ring light, so I apologize. But this right here is beautiful look number 5. With mascara on, I think I'm going to do falsies because why not? And I'll be right back to show you the final look. I'm back, my Glamnetic lashes back on in the style Bella once again, and this is look number 5. I think I have a new favorite. I think this is definitely my favorite look I've done with this palette so far. I love the warm tones, I love the halo eye, and I love the brightness right in the center. So yeah, look number 5 is definitely my new favorite. I'm back, and since this is not just a 5 looks 1 palette, I am going to give you my just final review of the palette. I think it's pretty, I think it's worth it. Have the colors been done before? 1000%. I feel like I have these colors somewhere in my collection. However, I don't like to judge a palette by saying that, because I don't know what your collection looks like. A lot of you who find my what happened? A lot of you who find my channel are just getting started with makeup, are just getting into it, and you're trying to learn looks and things to do with your palettes. So I never like to say, you know, it's boring because I've seen it before, because the fact that I have it somewhere in my collection does not mean that you have it somewhere in yours. So you have to look at the shades and just kind of see if this is something that suits you in your life. Did I need this palette? I didn't need this palette. Do I like it? Yes, I think it is great for fall. It has all the perfect colors. The shades and the formulas are amazing. Very blendable. It's really nice. It's really nice, but it's just not a super innovative palette, if that makes sense. So that is my final thoughts. The packaging is killer. Nars always kills it with the packaging. Very sturdy and very travel friendly. Let me know what your thoughts on this palette are in the comments section below. Also vote from 1 to 5 which look was your favorite. My favorite is this one that I'm wearing right now, look number 5. I loved it. Give the video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram at PattyCAlonso. I'll be posting a close-up shot of this eye look over there, and I would also just love your support over there as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I love you. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. I just sounded like a cheap. Bye. Mwah.